What's up, Taiwan? I'm Reece with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The first group of tourists from China's Fujian province has arrived in Taiwan's outlying islands of Matsu after Beijing partially lifted its cross-strait travel ban. The group of 28 people was greeted by county officials. China has allowed citizens from its southeastern Fujian province to resume travel to Taiwan, but only to Matsu, after a meeting with Kuomintang officials in April. Travel between the two sides has been largely blocked for years due to the pandemic and cross-strait tensions. Yilan County's education officials have been found responsible for serious negligence after a middle school student took her own life 4 years ago. The student's parents have been fighting to get their daughter's case properly heard after it was dismissed by county officials. Joyce Tseng has more.
Years after their daughter's death, parents of a middle school girl who died by suicide have their claims heard and honored. Taiwan's government watchdog has approved a report finding Yilan County officials seriously negligent in their handling of the case from 2020, when teachers involved were let off with just a warning. They had ignored signs of the students' distress, including self-harm.
故意穿着那个不是长袖的衣服到学校去，露出那些伤痕，那老师看到了，竟然就跟他讲说：“你把他那个遮起来，那个看起来很吓人，这样会吓到同学。”
The student's parents said the teacher had bullied their daughter, causing her to suffer nervous breakdowns and skip classes. When the student's wrongful death case was first investigated, the school said surveillance cameras didn't work and failed to punish its teachers. Such cases are not unique. Reports of teachers bullying students have seen a sharp increase in Taiwan in recent years, with 600 cases in 2023. Just 3% of those were successfully investigated and confirmed. With the backing of the national government, at least in the case of this middle school girl, there's some pressure for change.
对报告的部分，我们会予以尊重，后续也会予以检讨，包含强化学校的督导作为，那落实相关的通报机制，补助学校的监视器设备。
As Taiwan grapples with low birth rates and worsening youth mental health, there are efforts to better protect the country's young people, with mental health days for high schoolers and even reduced exam quotas for elementary schools. But there's still more to do to ensure the safety of Taiwan's children. Joseph Wu and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's environment minister is urging local industries to start adapting to rising temperatures and extreme weather immediately.
所有的资料都告诉我们说，到2050年，它的冬天只剩下1个月，秋天只剩下1个月，现在2个月。那这个对当地的产业就会造成很大的冲击。那这个可能在20-30年内就会发生。那所以这个时候就要赶快做好一些产业的准备。
Extreme weather is already wreaking havoc all over the world, including Taiwan. 2023 was the hottest year on record, and this year is shaping up to either match or surpass those temperatures. The minister emphasized that as winters become shorter, key industries like hot spring tourism will face big challenges. He urged local governments to start preparing now. Your daily cup of joe may be getting pricier, as one of the world's top coffee producers feels the effects of months-long drought. Tiffany Wong reports.
Water, an ever more precious resource for coffee farmers in central Vietnam. After Brazil, they're the world's largest producer, but they've been facing low yields due to a months-long drought. Farmers say production is down by almost half compared to last year, driving up the beans' prices.
Giá tăng thì người nông dân thì cũng mừng thôi, nhưng mà so với cái hạn hán này thì cũng không mừng cho lắm. Vì là giá tăng thì cái sản lượng nó sẽ giảm lại ấy.
Most of the coffee beans produced here are Robusta, usually considered an inferior variety to Arabica. But it's the variety mass consumed around the world in espressos and instant coffees. Farmers here are now trying to find new ways to keep their coffee plants growing, even as the climate changes.
Về thảm thực vật ở trên cái vườn cây mình không có dọn nó đi, mình giữ nguyên một cái lớp cỏ, nó giữ cho cái vườn cây nó luôn luôn tươi mát, và khi chỉ cần mình tưới một cái lượng nước nhỏ thôi là nó cũng đủ để nó giữ ẩm cho cái vườn cà phê rồi, thì mình nghĩ đó là một trong những cái biện pháp mà làm tăng chất lượng cà phê, tăng sản lượng cà phê và cũng ít bị tác động bởi khí hậu nóng.
And after the drought came the rains, and farmers anticipate more extreme weather ahead of the harvest season in October. But they're determined to keep their beans at the top of the market, supporting their local economy and providing to coffee lovers around the world. Chris Ma and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
North Korea has criticized a joint military exercise by South Korea, Japan and the US, saying the three countries have created an Asian version of NATO. The three allies began large-scale drills dubbed Freedom Edge on Thursday. They involve fighter jets and a nuclear-powered US aircraft carrier. The exercise was planned at the landmark three-way summit at Camp David last year to boost defense cooperation amid Pyongyang's weapons tests. Bolivia's former army general Juan José Zuniga has been transferred to a maximum security prison after last week's coup attempt. He's serving 6 months in preventative detention before standing trial for his involvement in the failed coup against Bolivian President Luis Arce. Last Wednesday, military units gathered outside the government palace in La Paz. An armored vehicle broke down the doors, letting soldiers flood in. After a confrontation with the president, Zuniga was arrested. He's been charged with terrorism and coordinating an armed uprising. Zuniga denies staging a coup and says he was following orders from the president. Calm has apparently settled over Port-au-Prince as Kenyan police start patrols around the Haitian capital. Hundreds of Kenyan police officers arrived in Haiti last week, with more on the way. Kenya pledged to send 1,000 officers as part of a UN-backed peacekeeping mission to tackle violent gangs controlling the country. 15 other nations have also agreed to participate. Gang violence in Haiti has displaced nearly 500,000 people, and almost half the country is going hungry. A major dog hunt is underway in the southern city of Tainan. Local authorities are looking to capture around a dozen stray dogs after an elderly man was attacked while taking out the garbage, leaving him bloodied and unable to get up. The man was helped by a passerby. Stray dogs are common in rural parts of Taiwan. Authorities are trying to get more aggressive breeds off the streets while finding adopters for working breeds. Laughter, tears and activism punctuated this year's Golden Melody Awards, celebrating the best musicians from the Chinese-speaking world and Taiwan's indigenous communities. We take a look at the big and the short winners of the night. After a brief struggle with the microphone, winner of Best New Artist and Best Indigenous Language Album, Macav, full of praise for the community of indigenous musicians who helped her reach the pinnacle of Taiwan's music scene at just 20 years old.
也谢谢纳乌啊，我的老板阿豹人人，要感谢袁敏慧，然后谢谢你们的补助，让我可以做专辑，因为我们没有钱，我们很穷。
Macav wasn't the only performer struggling with sound at the Golden Melody Awards, often called the Grammys of the Chinese-speaking world. 46-year-old MC Hot Dog's mic cut out midway through his guest performance. But it didn't dampen the mood. MC Hot Dog went on to take home the Best Male Mandarin Singer Award. MC Hot Dog! And gave a special shout-out during his acceptance speech.
今天很刚好，今天是我女儿的生日，我知道她在电视机前面，祝你生日快乐。那我本来跟她讲说，如果我没有得奖的话，我11点就回来了。可是今天爸爸要喝到早上，拜拜。
Industry veteran Huang Fei took home her third award for Best Female Taiwanese Singer, paying tribute to her late parents in an emotional interview.
其实有一点小遗憾，我真的很希望我这座奖是我爸爸妈妈还在世的时候，他们应该有来到现场。
And indie rock group No Party for Taodong took home 3 coveted prizes: Album of the Year, Best Mandarin Album, and Best Band, though none could be there to accept their awards. But making headlines at this year's event was Taiwanese singer Panay. Outside of her singing career, Panay has long been an activist for indigenous rights in Taiwan. recently ending an almost 8-year stint living in a tent in the 228 Memorial Park outside the presidential office in the capital, Taipei. A protest calling on the government to return land to indigenous peoples. Now, after winning Best Taiwanese Album, Panay used her stage time to bring attention to another important issue.
虽然我们不一样的族群，在我们这个母亲这个岛上，我们都有不一样的苦难，但是有一件事情，今天晚上也请你们一定要记得，金曲奖35年，你们知道吗？天安门事件也是刚好35年，我们都不要忘记，台湾加油！
No artists from China attended the ceremony, despite several nominations and winners. Alongside the Golden Bell and Golden Horse Awards, events like these have become a platform for performers to make political statements, sometimes leading to Chinese boycotts. But the awards are mostly a celebration of music, recognizing talent across a range of languages and providing a valuable platform for artists from some of Taiwan's lesser-known native cultures. Scott Huang and Reece for TaiwanPlus. Taiwan has one of the highest recycling rates in the world and near spotless streets. Rosie Greninger explains how the country's singing garbage trucks help the island become a global leader in waste disposal.
Echoing through the streets of Taipei, Beethoven's Fur Release is a call to action to rush outside and throw out the trash. Every day except Wednesdays and Sundays, lines of people wait by the side of the road during their designated time slot, holding trash bags. Known for its punctuality, the garbage truck waits for no one.
突然有一些事情的话，就会去追垃圾车啦。
就是来不及的时候就会作业，就是想办法倒啊，没有倒怎么？
For some residents, it's frustrating to plan their lives around the rubbish removal system. But for others, it's fostered a sense of community, as neighbours are given a chance to catch up. But Taiwan wasn't always so meticulous about its waste management. After an economic boom in the 1960s, its streets became strewn with litter. And by 1995, most of the country's landfills reached capacity, earning it the nickname Garbage Island.
Taipei and Taiwan would just sort of pile up trash in certain designated zones, and then when a typhoon would come, it would just spray the trash everywhere.
With rubbish piles creating a terrible stench and attracting pests, a community activist campaign pushed for government action. And in 1998, a Waste Disposal Act was implemented, introducing a recycling system that included the singing trucks. The law also established legal penalties for improper garbage disposal, taxed businesses, and introduced education programs and colour-coded bins to encourage residents to separate their waste.
A few years after that, the government told residents they need to buy these bags to throw away waste they couldn't recycle. The funds raised to be used in waste management facilities. It encouraged residents to be more conscious of how much waste they were throwing away and an incentive to recycle.
But some people tried to cheat the system, using public bins to throw out their trash, leading to the government removing most of those bins. Despite that, Taiwan's recycling rate has grown astronomically in a short amount of time, from 1% in 1998 to now one of the best in the world at over 55%. The streets of Taipei are now largely free from litter, a sign for people here that the system has worked, and a framework that waste researchers hope other countries will adapt to reduce waste and increase recycling. Patrick Chen and Rosie Greninger for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these scenes from Pride parades in Paris and across Latin America. I'm Reece. Take care, and we'll see you next time.